So we're starting a new sermon series tonight. I'm super excited for it. It's going to be called Balanced. Everybody say balanced. Say it one more time. Say balanced. Have you ever seen somebody fall? You ever seen somebody fall? Now, if you've ever seen someone fall, you know, like, you can't laugh like immediately. Like, you have to wait like a second just to make sure they're okay. But once they're okay, then it's like okay to laugh. Like, that's just falling protocol. But I was in high school, and there was this girl trying to carry all these books. She was trying to carry all these books, and everyone's like, hey, can we help you? Do you need help? Like, we want it. Like, it's okay. Like, you don't have to carry all of these books to class. But she's like, no, I got it. So we're like, all right, go ahead. So she starts carrying like all of these books, and she's like this, but the books are like so high that she can't like see in front of her. So she starts walking, and then she gets to the stairs. And if I'm being honest, I probably should have said something, but I didn't. I just wasn't paying that much attention. It wasn't like I wanted her to fall. I didn't, but did I laugh? That's none of your business. So she ends up going, and she trips and she falls. But have you ever seen someone fall like in slow motion? Like, she literally like fell in slow motion, but like obviously it wasn't, but it felt like it was. Like, books are flying up into the air. Like, it's literally like the Matrix. She starts rolling down the stairs, and you guys are judging me for telling this story and laughing. I can feel it. Like, you guys are like, why would he do it? She was fine, which makes it okay to laugh. That makes it fine to laugh. As long as they're okay, you can laugh. Thank you. She ends up falling, right? She ends up falling, and I think that this, honestly, if you were to ask me, how does your life look when you try to go back to school? How does your life look when you try to get back into the swing of things? I think that it honestly would probably look a lot like this girl that was in my school, to where a lot of us are carrying a lot of things, right? We're carrying school, we're carrying sports, we're carrying extracurricular activities, we're carrying trying to be a good sibling, we're carrying trying to be a good son or daughter, we're carrying trying to do our chores, we're carrying trying to babysit, we're carrying trying to work, all while being in bed by 9. So we're doing all of this, and we're carrying all of these things, and we're carrying all of these things, and then we look up and we end up feeling overwhelmed, and we end up feeling anxious, and we end up feeling like there's no way that we can make our way out of it simply because we were unbalanced. We were unbalanced. That's all that it was. That's all it comes down to, is that we were unbalanced. We were overwhelmed. Why? Because we were unbalanced. We're anxious. Why? Because we were unbalanced. Because there is no middle ground between balanced and unbalanced. Like, you're either balanced or you aren't. There is no like, oh, I was no, you're either balanced or you're unbalanced. And what happens in your life and my life is we are either balanced and we feel like we can take on the day, or we are unbalanced and we feel as though we're overwhelmed. When I talk to students, this is one of the biggest things that I hear is I'm anxious, I'm overwhelmed, I don't know how to get through the day. What they are saying is I'm unbalanced. There's too much. There's too much on my plate. There's too much in my hands. I don't know what to do. I have all of this pressure. We even call it at our youth ministry the pressure of perfection. I have to be perfect. I have to be everything to anyone, or else I am a failure. I feel unbalanced. And this is where we somewhat find Jesus tonight in our story. And what ends up happening is that Jesus is doing a lot of good things. He's healing people. He's helping people. He's getting a lot of good work done. And what ends up happening in Luke chapter 5 is it says the news about him spread all the more, so that the crowds of people came to hear him and to be healed of their sicknesses. And then it tells us, but Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. Let's pray one more time before we get into the teaching tonight. God, I thank you that you are not a God that calls us to be unbalanced, that you're not a God that actually calls us to be overwhelmed. There are times that we even feel like being overwhelmed is, oh, we're just doing things for God. But no, you don't call us to be overwhelmed. You actually call us to live in balance. You call us to walk in balance. And I pray over anyone, God, who feels overwhelmed, as though if they just take one more step, God, they're going to feel as though they're falling. They're going to feel as though they've lost it all. I pray that you would bring rest. I pray that you would bring peace. I pray that you would bring hope, God, and you would help us to learn how to stay balanced. In Jesus' name. And everyone said? Have you ever done a talent show? Has anyone ever done a talent show before? I used to do talent shows when I was little, believe it or not, like, I used to sing when I was little. So I was the guy that was like in all of like the plays. Like I was like Daddy Warbucks and Annie, and I had to wear like a bald cap. Like I was like that kid, like the kid that grew up like doing plays and doing all of these things. I'm sure you can imagine it, of course, just super talented. So I used to like do this stuff, and I remember like I started doing this talent shows, and I do this talent show in school. Now, what they don't tell you, like, when you're little and your voice is, like, super high, what they don't tell you is about this word called puberty. They don't tell you about that at all. They don't tell you about puberty. Like, when your voice starts cracking, I know that some of you are, like, 11 with voices deeper than mine, but that's not normal, just so you know. You are an exception. You hit puberty well. I did not hit puberty well. I was awkward until, like, yesterday. So I literally am, like, in this stage to where, like, my voice is, like, kind of still high, but, like, not. You know, like to where your voice is like cracking, but it's like not. But I had already entered this talent show. And I don't know if you've ever heard of this song before. Have you ever heard of the song Somewhere Over the Rainbow? Have you ever heard that? That was the song for some reason I like chose to sing. That song is like completely high notes the entire time. Like it's, no, definitely not. Definitely not. So, no. Definitely not. I almost made a joke. I'm not gonna make that joke, sorry. No, I don't have a video. So, I have to do this talent show. Like I already had like said I was gonna do it. So I start doing the talent show, and like, you know, which my fellows will understand this. You know, like when you like hit that age to where you can't really sing the way that you used to, like you get it. All the guys are nodding their heads. Like you can't really sing, yeah, it's okay. I'm with you, I feel you, I'm with you. So I sang, and it didn't sound like when I did Daddy Warbucks for Annie. Like it didn't sound like when I did these productions. It sounded like nails on a chalkboard, if I'm gonna be honest. Like it sounded really, really bad. So I do this talent show, and everyone's laughing at me, just rude bullies, that's all they are. So they're all laughing at me, and then afterwards, they have the nerve to like, keep asking me to do talent shows. Like, Joe, you should do this one, you should do that one. I'm like, I'm not doing it. Like, I'm done with talent shows, and I have never done a talent show since the 5th grade. I am completely scarred, and I mean, now adults really don't do talent shows, so I don't know. But it's not just something I do, but all these people kept asking me like, Joe, you gotta do it, Joe, you gotta do it. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not going there. Now, what you have to understand about our story tonight is that Jesus is being asked to go somewhere. There's even a story in the Bible that Jesus is being asked to go to this festival of Jesus. Jesus, you're doing a lot of miracles here, but you got to go over there. If you want people to know your name, you got to go there. Like, have you ever seen that festival? Like, if you heal someone there, you're going to go viral, like blue check mark, Instagram Jesus, you don't understand, influencer, TikTok verified. Like, seriously, you got to go over there. And yet what we see from Jesus time and time again is that he did not allow culture to shape where he went. He never allowed people to shape where he went. He never allowed other people to tell him where to go. And in a time where Jesus could have used his authority, could have used his power to make a name for himself, to push himself, to make himself go viral, what do we see Jesus do? Withdraw. The Bible says he withdrew, that he went to the lonely places and prayed. They say, Jesus, you could go anywhere. You could be anything. You could be viral. You could be the next big thing. You could be the next big guy. And yet we see Jesus instead take a step back, go to the lonely place and pray. What you have to understand about your life, about my life, is there are going to be moments when you go to school this fall where you're going to have opportunities to tell people who you are. Believe it or not, we have a talented youth ministry. You are a called youth ministry. You have authority when you step into rooms. And when you step into a room, there are going to be moments where people are going to tell you, hey, you should do this. Hey, you should do that. Do you want to be the next big thing? Do you want to go viral? Do you want to be the next trend? Do you want to be the next big popular person in school? And yet, what we see Jesus do when he could have been the most popular person ever is we see him not leverage it to be cool. We see him not leverage it to have power. We see him what? Withdraw. Take a step back to what we're going to call the secret place. Jesus spent time in the secret place. Jesus would go away to the secret place. Jesus would heal people and go to the secret place. Now, what's interesting about this entire story is that what would happen is that Jesus would take time away from healing people in order to spend time with God. He would actually take time away from healing people, from loving people, from spending time with people in order to spend time with God. What does this show me? It shows me that just because it might be a good thing, that doesn't mean that it's a God thing. What you have to understand is that your schedule could be a good thing. Your sport is a good thing. Your grades are a good thing. Your studies are a good thing. Your productions are a good thing. But they can't be God. But they can't control you. But they can't be a God thing. So Jesus would spend time and say, hey, I know I'm healing people now, but I have to go to the secret place. I know I'm spending time with people now and I could leverage this for my own authority, but I have to go to the secret place. And our main point tonight, it's up on the screen, our main point, we do 1-point messages here at Mission Youth. The main point is this: Jesus wasn't found where the attention was. He was found where the Father was, in the secret place. What you have to understand is that Jesus did not just go where the attention was. He didn't just go. There are literally stories in the Bible. Jesus, you have to go here. This is where you'll get attention. And Jesus says, no, that's not where I'm called. I'm going to go to where the Father has called me, in the secret place. The Bible even tells us, Jesus says statements like, if you remain in me, then you will have fruit. If you remain in me, then you will have joy. If you remain in me, then you will have life. How do I remain in Jesus? By taking time to go to the secret place. Because what happens in your life and my life is when we're overwhelmed, we think it all can be solved by, well, I just need to get a new schedule. Well, I just need to get a planner. Well, I just need to get a calendar. Can I encourage you, there is no substitute for the secret place. That yes, your planner might be good, but it won't give you peace. Your schedule might be okay, but it won't give you joy. You changing some things around, cutting this sport out for that sport, it might change your schedule a little bit, but it won't give you life. You can only find life, you can only find hope, you can only find joy where? In the secret place. So we have this moment because what happens in your life and in my life, it tells us this, that Jesus went to the secret place when? Often. But you and I only go when we're overwhelmed. You and I only go when we're frustrated. You and I only go when we're anxious. Hey, I'm anxious, I gotta pray. Oh, I'm upset. Oh, I gotta pray, which is not a bad thing, but what does it tell us? That the secret place was not something he just went to when he was upset. It was actually a rhythm for his life. So the secret place is not supposed to be a last resort. It's actually supposed to be a lasting rhythm to where you and I walk through life and it is a part of who we are, to where people will look at you and they'll say, oh, they've spent time with God. They must be in the secret place. People will look at you and say, oh, they've prayed a lot today. They must be in the secret place. It cannot be a last resort, but it has to be a rhythm for your life. And my prayer for you, my prayer for our church is that we would not go where the attention is, that we wouldn't go just where people say we should go, but that we would go where we're called, that we would go where God has us, that we would spend time in the secret place. You can't find joy anywhere else. You can't find hope anywhere else. You can't find life anywhere else other than spending time with God. Come on, let's stand to our feet.